We know your name's not Cologne. It's Colon. It's fine. Everybody's got one. Well, most of the people. Let's talk Lions football.
Elbow, forearm, he's going to be down.
The result of the play is a touchdown.
And then the flag that was thrown on this was picked up.
I don't know, did it get the face mask?
Only do that if you're telling the official you're reporting.
The Lions hangover.
Hello, everybody. I am Brad. I am your host for the Lions Hangover podcast, which is what you are listening to and or watching, because as you know, all post-game shows are also available on YouTube, and the pre-game shows are available exclusively wherever you listen to podcasts. So, if you could, please subscribe, rate, comment, leave a review, whatever you want to do. Also, don't forget to find me on all social medias. I am also on TikTok now, which is kind of fun. I'm enjoying the TikTok, which is a weird thing to say because I'm a adult man, and I always feel like TikToks are for, little kids and stuff. Let's talk Lions football. Lions defeat the Dallas Cowboys by a score of 44-30. It was tense at times. Was it the best game we've ever seen? No, but it's the best game we've seen in a while. Lions still have lots to clean up, lots of stupid penalties on the offense and defense, mostly offense, though. Those offsides, illegal formations, illegal shifts, that stuff kills me right now. So the Lions have lots to clean up, but they beat a very solid team, a very high-powered offensive team. I don't feel like they ran the ball too much. The Lions did, but they still found a way to make an impact with their running game, with Jahmyr Gibbs, with David Montgomery. They spread the ball around. I think 5 different people had touchdowns, or maybe it's just 4 different people had touchdowns. Even the ones that didn't have a touchdown, like St. Brown, had huge plays in the game. Jamo had a huge play in the game. He almost had a touchdown, Jamo did, but he fell just short, which was obvious on the replay. The refs of the game were atrocious, but I wouldn't say controversial. There were a bunch of calls that I feel like they probably got wrong or missed for both teams. I'm not just going to say that they favored the Cowboys, even though they did favor the Cowboys. See, I just went against my own words there. But I'll say it. The Lions got away with a couple calls too. It happens. That's the course of the game. And in that way, it doesn't bother me because there was no clear favoritism. It's when it only seems to work out for one team is when things are iffy. Defensively, I thought our defensive line was amazing. The pass rush was back. I believe we had something like 5 sacks. I believe we had something like 3 turnovers. And what did I call for all of this week? I don't want any more QB pressures, QB hurries, QB hits. I want sacks. I want fumbles. We didn't get any pass deflections, but I love sacks. I love fumbles. And the Lions defense had a plethora of all of that, including a couple interceptions as well. DJ Reed had I'm going to say fantastic game because I think getting an interception is much bigger than, allowing a pass, here and there. Al-Quadin Muhammad, probably the MVP of the defense, and that sounds weird because I thought Jack Campbell played fantastic. He'd probably be the runner-up, but Al-Quadin Muhammad had 3 sacks on the night. Amazing to see him there. Amazing to see somebody on the other side of Hutch tearing it up. And I'm okay if Hutchinson doesn't get any sacks. I'm okay with this because maybe he's drawing the attention to allow Al-Quadin Muhammad to get all of the success. So I feel like that's amazing. I do think Hutch was in on a sack there. We will take a look at the stats in a little bit. I thought Jared Goff played okay. I know he had over 300 yards, and it definitely was not a bad game whatsoever. They started to air the ball out a little bit, but they still I know he missed J-Mo on at least one play. He had J-Mo wide open, assuming he could hit J-Mo in stride. If he could hit J-Mo in stride, he was wide open. The offensive line played better, but not great. I thought the coaching was much improved. They definitely knew how to manage the clock at the end of the first half. We definitely have lots of highlights to go over today. Lots of touchdowns. I even got some, at least one of the Al-Quadin Muhammad sacks to share, and the forced fumble from Campbell and Brian Branch, which, of course, Brian Branch is now out for the season. I think the earliest I saw that he could be back is the beginning of November of next season. So this is going to put even more pressure on Kirby Joseph coming back. So I hope he is about ready to go, because things do not get easier next week as the Lions travel to L.A. to play the Rams. That's going to be a 4:30 game on Fox. So little bit of a mini bye week here, as they have 10 days to prepare for the Rams now, so they should be a little bit more rested up. So hopefully they can take advantage of that. And I would love to see Kirby Joseph back. Amon-Ra St. Brown, who of course played, and I don't think anybody was expecting him to. It just felt like the entire offense was clicking. And hey, man, give it up for Isaac Tesla. 8 catches on the year, 4 touchdowns. The dude has a 50% touchdown success rate. And he even almost had another touchdown, too. It was just a poorly thrown ball out of bounds by Jared Goff. But Tesla did make the grab. Okay, this guy catches everything, and it just reinforces my idea that you should be throwing Tesla the ball more. He should start to be considered as a weapon. Tom Kennedy, of course, was still in there for Khalif Raymond. I can't remember if he had a catch or not. I think he had a catch early. I was actually a little bit impressed by Ferkser, one of the backup tight ends. I thought he did okay. And then, what's the other one's name? Dwaddle? Is that right? Dwaddle? I'll have to get his name. But I thought both of them played okay. Of course, you miss Laporta. Of course, you miss Brock Wright, But I saw a key block on one of the touchdowns from Ferkser, and that's all you can ask your tight ends to do. God, I'm trying. I hope I get his name right. Dwallo, something like that. Again, we will get it. I will get his name right. He had a catch early in the game as well. It was just nice to see that everybody was getting an opportunity and everybody made the most out of their opportunity. Jahmyr Gibbs, probably, if I hadn't said it already, the standout on offense with his 3 touchdowns. I have at least 2 of those highlights as well. So, with that being said, let's just get into the story of the game. I know we've got a lot of highlights to cover, so I think this is going to take up the bulk of the time. The story of the game. Let's go get my glasses. Brad, edit right here. Okay, I am back with my readers. I'm working with some lights, as you guys can probably see in the reflection, so I was just trying to, save the distraction of seeing the reflection of the lights in my glasses. That way it wasn't distracting to you guys, but I took one look at my phone, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to read, so I had to make the call and get the glasses. I also grabbed my Lions blanket. I hope you got to see it too. This thing is huge. It is soft. Got it from the team store. Okay, so now that I can read my phone, let's start with the story of the game. The Lions get the ball first, which I'm not a fan of. However, they did everything right as they start the game off with a field goal. Okay, this field goal was a 38-yard field goal from Mr. Jake Bates. This is, of course, after an 8-play, 44-yard drive, taking off 4 minutes and 14 seconds on the clock. Dallas gets the ball next. They go 8 plays, 29 yards. They take 2 minutes, 39 seconds off the clock, and they end it with a 57-yard field goal by Mr. Aubrey. He's a solid kicker. Lions 3 and out their next drive. Not to worry. Lions defense is coming up huge. 3 and out for the Cowboys. Next, Lions go 6 plays, 42 yards, 3 minutes, 10 seconds for a 1-yard touchdown by Mr. Jahmyr Gibbs. This takes it to the start of the second quarter. After 16 plays, 46 yards, 7 minutes and 51 seconds off the clock, the Dallas Cowboys counter with a field goal, this time 42 yards by Aubrey. Lions go 3 and out on their next drive. Then there's a fumble for the Dallas Cowboys. This one is from Mr. Jack Campbell and Brian Branch with the recovery.
On 3rd down and 21, 4-man rush. Prescott dancing. Throws, that's caught. To the outside goes Ferguson. Ball is out. The ball is out, and the Lions look like they're on top of it.
And now here he is, not giving up on a play. It looks like that's just a hustle play by Jack Campbell. What you'd expect from him. And then, of course, Brian Branch is right there, heads up to jump on top of the football. Look, not only does he finish on the play, but the intent there to punch at the football to be able to knock it out.
This sets up a 4-play, 53-yard drive taking a minute. Just under 2 minutes, minute 48 off the clock with a 35-yard touchdown run. This time, it is from David Montgomery.
2nd and 10. Montgomery breaking tackles. Inside the 10, he goes to the end zone for the touchdown.
Watch Sewell and the balance that he has, and then turn to his right and make that block right there on Overshown. That's what allowed him to be able to get into the teeth of that defense, and then that's what Montgomery brings, the physicality.
Now, I'm always happy to see Montgomery get the touchdown, especially on such a long run. You could tell he wanted to get into the end zone, and once he broke through that front, 6 defenders, there was not going to be anything stopping him. Dallas comes back with a 9-play, 43-yard field goal. Not a 43-yard field goal, but a 43-yard drive. It is a 55-yard field goal. Man, Aubrey is just kicking these things left and right. This, of course, makes the score, 17-9. Then coming up at the end of the half, Lions are a bit aggressive, and they do what they can. You know that they need to score because Dallas gets the ball at the start of the second half. They're able to move the ball a little bit, and as time expires, Jake Bates makes a 47-yard field goal, making the score 20-9. At the start of the second half, there is an interception by Mr. Derek Barnes.
Well, you're so right with those explosive plays. 4 of them for 25 yards or more. Meanwhile, it's deflected, intercepted by the Lions, and that is Barnes. Derek Barnes, the linebacker.
But I think Robertson, it comes close to getting that hand in there, and then that's what brought the ball out where Barnes can make this play and take it all the way back, or close to taking it back to the end zone. But that slant, that's been their go-to. And I think that left-hander, Robertson, got in there to be able to keep it away from Pickens being able to make that catch.
That sets up this 2-play drive, taking 14 yards, only 34 seconds off the clock. It's a 12-yard touchdown by Mr. Isaac Tesla.
2nd down and 8. To the end zone, open touchdown! Isaac Tesla.
And watch the eyes of the rookie, 34 Rebel Gravel, just kind of looking at the quarterback. No real feel, and this is a guy that played predominantly man-to-man at East Carolina. He's learning how to play zone.
The Cowboys are trying to stick with it. They scrap up together a 9-play drive going 65 yards, 3 minutes, 33 seconds off the clock. This goes to a 1-yard touchdown run by Mr. Williams. That makes the score 27-16. Lions missed a field goal, a blocked field goal. It's kind of upsetting. A blocked field goal, Jake Bates on a 52-yard attempt. I feel like he could have made it, though, but it was just blocked, and that's the way it goes sometimes. Lions still maintain their lead. However, Cowboys on their next drive, 6 plays, 13 yards, they get a field goal. That makes it 27-19. This time it is a 53-yard? A 63-yard field goal. Holy cow, Aubrey, you're pretty good, man. Lions come back, though, with a 10-play drive, 40 yards, taking 5:59 off the clock, and they finish this drive. This time, this field goal is good from 46 yards by Mr. Jake Bates. Cowboys, though, they're getting a little bit serious about it. They go 4 plays, 70 yards, taking a minute 58 off the clock. They score a 42-yard touchdown. This time, Dak Prescott to Flournoy for 42 yards. This makes the score 30-27, but the Lions say, hey, we're not done here either. They go 5 plays, 59 yards, 2 minutes, 35 seconds off the clock with a 10-yard touchdown run. This is Mr. Jahmyr Gibbs' second touchdown of the day.
Down to 7. Gibbs. You can only bottle him up so long. Touchdown.
They convert, keep this drive alive. Watch Penei Sewell on the right side with the rookie Tate Ratledge. Good job of just kind of pushing that defensive line. They were slanting that way. Just push them down. Looks like they're going to take a peek to make sure he was good to go, and into the end zone. Looks clean to me.
The Cowboys, though, desperate to stay in it, go 13 plays for 56 yards, 3 minutes, 35 seconds off the clock. This time they end with another field goal. This one is from 29 yards. That's just a little chip shot for Mr. Brandon Aubrey. That makes the score 37-30. Lions, though, 3 plays, 51 yards, answer back, putting the game away. Mr. Jahmyr Gibbs was with his third touchdown of the day, a 13-yard touchdown run.
Give it to him to the outside, blocking, and into the end zone he goes.
That makes the score 44-30, but of course, do not forget the interception by Mr. DJ Reed. He had a fantastic game, and this is the final nail in the coffin of this game.
Prescott dancing, fires over the middle, and that is going to be picked off. DJ Reed has his moment after they've been picking on him all night.
Reading the eyes of the quarterback, closing that gap and that separation and getting his hand in there and knocking away. And then how about the way he finished on it? Let's make sure he caught it. Looked like there he might miss it, but somehow, oh no, he got it.
Game is over. Lions go into victory formation. And that's the story of the game. Al-Quadin Muhammad, though, he had a hell of a game. So let's check out one of his sacks right now on this drive.
Prescott in a vice. Sacked.
Tackle 71, who's in for Guyton. Watch his head turn inside. He almost looked confused and surprised with the pressure to the outside. It's 3rd down and 10. I'm not sure why he's looking inside and hesitant to get out to Muhammad, but he was.
So that takes us to the stats now, starting with the bad guys. Dak Prescott went 31 of 47 for 376 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 5 sacks with a quarterback rating of 79.7. Javonte Williams led the team with 17 carries, only 67 yards. The Cowboys were kept below 100 yards rushing on the game. They only had 91 total yards of rushing. Javonte Williams did have that 1 touchdown. His longest run of the day was 11 yards. CeeDee Lamb was the leading receiver with 121 yards. That's on 6 receptions. Ryan Flournoy, he had 9 receptions for 115 yards with 1 touchdown. Jake Ferguson had 5 catches for 58 yards. George Pickens, crazy-ass George Pickens, had 5 catches for 37 yards. I know CeeDee Lamb went out with an injury, and he was out for the rest of the game. Dallas did have 3 fumbles. They lost 1 of them, and they recovered 2 of them. Ferguson, Prescott, and Pickens all had a fumble. Only the Ferguson one was lost. Top 5 tacklers on the board for the Cowboys. Deron Bland had 7 total tackles, 4 solo. DeMarvion Overshawn had 7 tackles, 3 solo. Siobhan Revel Jr., 6 total tackles, 4 solo. Quinnen Williams had 4 total tackles, 1 solo. And Marquise Ball had 4 tackles, 1 solo. With the sacks, James Houston, he got that sack early. And after that early sack, Cowboys did not get to Jared Goff again. That's not to say that they didn't hit him or put any pressure on him. You could tell that Goff had to improvise a little bit, and I thought Goff did okay handling the pressure. But just that 1 sack on the day for the Cowboys. There were no punts from the Lions, and there was only 1 punt from the Cowboys. That's crazy. 1 punt for 62 yards, so that was as long as was 62 yards. Now let's get to the good guys. Jared Goff went 25 of 34 for 309 yards with 1 touchdown, 1 sack, and a quarterback rating of 111. Montgomery led the team in rushing with 6 carries, 60 yards. That's where he leads the team because Jahmyr Gibbs ran the ball 12 times for 43 yards. He did have 3 touchdowns. Montgomery had just the 1. Receiving-wise, J-Mo led the team in receptions with 96 yards on 7 receptions. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 6 catches for 92 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, 7 catches for 77 yards. Isaac Tesla, 2 catches for 20 yards with that touchdown. That was the only passing touchdown was to Isaac Tesla. I thought there was one more passing touchdown. Brian Branch with that 1 fumble recovery. Now the top 5 tacklers on the board for the Detroit Lions. Jack Campbell had 12 total tackles, 6 solo, 1 sack. DJ Reed, 8 total tackles, 8 solo. Avante Maddox, 8 total tackles, 6 solo. Alex Anzalone, 7 total tackles, 4 solo. And Brian Branch, 6 total tackles, 3 solo. Al-Quadin Muhammad had the 3 sacks. Ali McNeil had a sack. And where is my math? Oh, Jack Campbell also had a sack today too. So that means that Hutchinson was kept off of the stat sheet as far as sacks go. He did have 3 total tackles, 2 solo. I did promise to get the name of the other. Yeah, it's Dwelly. Anthony Ferkser had a catch, and Ross Dwelly had a catch as well. Those are the 2 backup tight ends, and I'm okay with those guys contributing. I saw them make some blocks. I was really happy with their performance. I mean, what do you expect? They're not Sam Laporta. And there's a decent drop-off to Brock Wright, and there's a further drop-off to everybody else, and I thought these guys stepped up and played okay, and I had no problem with them being in the game whatsoever. Detroit, though, with the 2 interceptions. Derek Barnes, like I said, had 1. DJ Reed had the other. DJ Reed's did close out the game. Tom Kennedy is playing like a boss on these kick returns. I kind of hope he sticks around. I would like it to be him and Khalif Raymond when Raymond comes back. I just love what Tom Kennedy is doing. He's pretty amazing. Jake Bates was 3 for 4 on the field goals, his longest being 47, and he was 5 for 5 on the extra points. Jack Fox, it said he punted 2 times. Oh, okay. He was inside the 20 once. I do not remember any punt in this game. There was so much scoring in this game. I had no clue either team punted. It's just that the Cowboys did not return a punt, so that's where we were at with that. That's why I don't remember any punts. Now, team stats. The Lions had 20 first downs. The Cowboys had 25. Lions went 3 for 8 on 3rd down. That's not great. The Cowboys went 6 for 15. Sorry. The Cowboys were 2 for 2 on 4th down conversions. The Lions did not go for it once. On 4th down, they punted the ball and or kicked a field goal. The Cowboys were 1 for 3 in the red zone. The Lions were 4 for 5 in the red zone. So that's the kind of production that you like to see. The Cowboys, of course, had 3 turnovers. And time of possession was 31-23 seconds, 31 minutes, 23 seconds for the Cowboys. Lions only had the ball 28 minutes, 37 seconds. 64,028 people crammed into Ford Field for Thursday night football on Amazon Prime. Of course, like I said, I am not going to do a commercial for Amazon Prime. So these are my closing thoughts. Overall, let's take the glasses off dramatically. Put them in your mouth for a second. Let's talk about this, boys. Let's talk about this, I thought the Lions played great. I know Dan Campbell said it in his presser. There's still lots more to clean up. I believe the Lions will clean. I mean, from what I've seen over the last couple seasons and Dan Campbell, there's nothing in me that makes me think that the Lions are not going to be able to clean this up. Okay. But at the same time, after every single game, even victories like last night, we have heard there's still a lot we need to clean up, and they have not cleaned it up yet. And to me, it's stupid penalties. I'm not talking about pass interferences because those are debatable by the officials, and they get some and they lose some. That's the way it's going to go. What I have a problem with is the illegal formations, the false starts. It's like the false start never makes sense to me because you have the answer to the test. and you still can't make it happen. Speaking of a false start, the Cowboys had a false start that the refs missed. That left tackle, he was clearly jumping early, and that was near the end of the game, and it's a missed penalty like that could affect the outcome of the game or change the momentum of the game. Like, that's why it's important to get these calls right either way, and that was a huge one that they missed. But I was on Twitter before I was X, before I decided to film this podcast, and there were a lot of Cowboys fans chirping about how the refs seem to be in favor of the Lions. I don't see it that way at all. I think the refs favored the Cowboys a little bit more, but this is the bias of the teams that we root for, That's why I like to say the refs miss calls on both sides, but it's those big calls that they need to get right in those big moments, and that's one that I feel like they missed. Also, what is up with the I didn't see his name, but it was on the kick return. The guy, it was an extreme tackle. Okay, now you could have, it was kind of a dick tackle. All right, it's football. But then as he was getting up, it's like he shoved, I believe it was Tom Kennedy. Yeah, I believe he shoved his head into the ground a little bit more. Now, I'm sure he's going to be fined, but that's something that needs to be a penalty in the game as well, man. That's a personal foul on sportsmanlike conduct. These are the types of big penalties you can't miss, the blatant penalties. Don't miss the blatant ones. The objectionable ones, whatever, like you can deal with. Like, I didn't see pass interference there, or yeah, we definitely had pass interference on that one. That stuff doesn't bother me so much. But the blatant ones, man, you got to get those right. And the NFL needs to do a better job, because when they leave that stuff open to us to see, and then, I mean, what other option do we have than to think this ref must have money on the game, or this ref must have been paid by Jerry Jones? Like, what the hell is going on in these situations? So not a great performance by the officiating. I just don't like to use it as an excuse, because the Lions need to play above that. The Lions need to stay out of a situation where the refs are determining the outcome of the game. I don't believe when it came down to it, the refs did determine the outcome of the game, but they're definitely, we all saw it. There are definitely missed calls on both sides. You just hope that it gets cleaned up a little bit more. But just with, when you play a team like Dallas, and I hate to say this, but there have been rumors, there have been accusations of Jerry Jones paying off refs, that there are a couple teams in the NFL that, that might slide a bigger paycheck towards the officiating. And I could say that because I don't know anything about football. I'm nobody important, but when you hear these things, you have a former owner who might have just been butthurt, like Dan Snyder, call out like 3 or 4 teams, and Jerry Jones was one of them. And then you look at how your team performs against the Cowboys, like Decker reported or Decker didn't report, or Skipper reported or Skipper didn't report. And then that stuff gets called back, and it's like, the evidence matches the accusation. So it's just stuff like that. When they miss these big calls, these blatant penalties, it gets a bit frustrating when you have to play 2 teams out there, not just one. When you literally have to play against the refs, it makes your day a bit harder. So the Lions have to play twice as hard, and I feel like they did yesterday. The defensive line came through, man. Al-Quadin Muhammad delivered, and that makes me so happy, because we need somebody to solidify that other side of Hutchinson, And again, Hutchinson might not make an impact on the stat sheet, but that's because Al-Quadin is, Of course Hutch is getting held. Of course Hutch is getting double teamed. Of course Hutch is getting triple teamed. That doesn't mean Hutch didn't make it into the backfield, but by him absorbing some of that attention gives Quadin Muhammad an opportunity to get those sacks, and he came through huge, man, and that's something that the last few weeks we haven't had. So next week against Stafford, Al-Quadin Muhammad, might get a little bit more attention, and that could open up Hutch to get a sack or 2 next week, So it's just momentum that we need. It's those are the results that we need. And now you're feeling a little bit more optimistic. Now you have a little bit more cushion, because you knew going into this game with the rest of the schedule, we only have like a 1-game cushion, and the Rams are by far the hardest team left on our schedule. And that's no disrespect to the Bears or the Vikings or anything like that. Vikings are in trouble. Like, they embarrassed us, and we are going to embarrass them on Christmas Day. So I would guarantee that win. And we need to win against the Bears. Like, that could have definitely playoff implications, potentially even division implications, It's going to be fun to see how the rest of the season plays out. I hope the Lions bring their A game from here on out. I hope this is the beginning of a 9-game run, because or an 8-game run now, or 7-game, however many games we have left going into the playoffs. I hope the Lions bring it. So that's all I have to say for that. Please don't forget to rate and subscribe. Share this with a fellow Lions fan. I really like doing this podcast, so I hope to stick around for a while, but I need your guys' help doing that. So please subscribe, share it, and I will be back next week with a pregame show, of course, exclusively to only podcasts, wherever you get your podcast, and the postgame show you can always find here on YouTube as well, in addition to wherever you listen to your podcast. So that's it for me. Thanks for listening, guys. I will be back. Bye-bye.